to a fight with a boy and then you hit them and they say, I'm gonna go and tell my father, like, oh, this one has got a father. Because usually if they flex them, you just like, I'm going to tell my uncle, I'm going to tell my big brother, you know. So that's the only time make sure you learn that, oh, this one has got a father, you know. But I thought if most of our communities have raised children in the absence of fathers, do we still want that phenomenon to continue, you know?
Why do you think, sorry, can I stop you there? Why do you think it is like that?
Look, there's a number of reasons. One, and I think which is the most important one or the biggest one, I think men just take a decision not to be there.
Men take a decision
not to be there.
Not to be there. You know, that's
the
difficult
first one.
thing. I've got a daughter now, she's 3.5. I just dropped her before this.
Yes, at school.
And it's a difficult thing, man. How can you take a decision which is to not be there?
I don't know. People take it. My father took it until I saw him when I was very old. Many other guys take it. But it's not the only reason why men are absent. You know, also you've got the spatial planning of this country, the apartheid system that divided families. Families were left in the villages. Fathers had to come to, you know, the economic hub to go and get employment, you know, and service the master. Somehow they had to start families. When they start families, in the brink of them losing their jobs, they want to go back home. They leave another family here. So it has been a continuous thing.
Yeah.
You know, so the biggest one, which I think is in any man's honor, it's you deciding not to be there, irrespective of the circumstances, you know. Others might say there are cultural confrontations. Another family wants lobola. I can't pay lobola, or I can't pay damages because we've got these things in our African culture that we have imposed in ourselves that also divide, you know, how we put together a family. But in the midst of all of those things, then we've got a law that also prescribes that a mother is the primary caregiver and a father is, you know, and for you to be recognized as a father, you must either be staying with the mother for so long, you must have, you know, there are prescripts that define for you to qualify to claim paternity, you know, this is what you are supposed to have done. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it comes back and it boils down to you making a decision to be there or not to be there, you know, and I grew up in that community where in my household, I don't remember even one single day my mother speaking bad about my father. Actually, 90% of our life, we've never spoken about him. Only 10%.
So you were born not knowing him?
I was born not knowing him physically, but I knew of him and I knew of his family in my community. And actually, I have a relationship with his sister, which is my aunt, you know. So I grew up in that environment and I thought, I'm surrounded by guys. I've got a group of guys who are 17, 19 of us, guys who went to school, who've got jobs, others have started businesses, others have got kids, others are still wanting to have kids, others are married. And I was like, we can't continue, you know, doing things the same way our fathers did.
It can be a ripple effect, eh? You didn't have a father,
you know, so some of the guys had fathers. Others would say later on in conversations we learned that as much as the father was physically there in the house, they never had a relationship because of the father was a disciplinarian, the father was a provider, so they never conversed, they never shared jokes, they never laughed. Actually, the only time they would see their fathers laugh is with their friends, but when they come back into the house or at their face, they've got a straight frowning face, you know. So we said it's our responsibility as this generation to start a movement that will try and change the narrative. To say, I might have grown up without a father, but my daughter does not have to experience the same. I grew up with my father in the house, but we didn't really have much contact. But I want to have such a, you know, a lovely, jolly relationship with my child, you know. So that's how the foundation was born in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. I was not a father by then. I think
you started this before you were father.
I think we were expecting at that time. I can't remember, but I think we were expecting because in the first picnic was in October, November 2013. So we were a couple of months pregnant by that time. So I then said to the guys, no, we must come. They said, but you don't have a child. I said, I'll rent somebody's child there. So we had a picnic in Guatemala. We only invited guys and their kids. We didn't want women in the place. And we had games, we had food, we had conversations amongst ourselves. That's when we then learned that there are deeper issues that men are confronted with, and society is just passive towards these issues. They think, Leroy, you're a man, stack it up, you can walk past this, men don't cry, all of those things.
Don't show emotions.
Yes, and then when you don't show emotions, then women come back and cry and say, I want my man to be emotionally available for me, I want my man to show me love, and be vulnerable. How then do we do that when we have been taught for so long that you need to close up, you need to toughen up, and you need to deliver? And what is your deliverables? You must provide for your family. So we had our first picnic. We learned of some of the deeper issues. There are some guys who came without their kids. They thought they were going to go and fetch the kids that morning. And some of the conversations and the following picnic, we then picked up on some of these issues. And then I thought, I think we need to expand the work. It can't be a coincidental thing that once a year we'll meet for a gathering, with our kids, or once in 3 months, let's meet. And I said, I think we've got to be intentional. There is a black man who needs, to be developed, who needs to be, provided with information, provided with an environment for them to grow. So we can't just do a hit and run. It's a picnic and then we run. It's another picnic, then we run. So we then said, let's find an institution that can provide